Oh, ooh. What? Wait. Normies must die. P. Parthenon. Our husband and wife? Nobody told me about this. And wait. His handle is Normies must die. And he's a normal. He's got a wife. That's not fair! I thought it was on the side of us loners. I was gonna say losers. This means war. It's trolling time! No, Daru, don't be a troll! Whoa. Till that Atchan and Tweeter are already pissed off. I missed the boat. I need to go back and look at the timeline again. Dad! Yes? That's what Suzuha called her father. Who he was, after all, so there was nothing else to call him. Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036, and 7 years from now, he would become her father. Stop screwing around. All you ever do is lie around and eat, or look at the internet, or play video games. I told you that nothing but instant noodles and snacks will make you sick, but that's still all you ever eat. Excuse me? Oop. Okay. Technical difficulties. Never catch a break. In fact, his PC desk was covered with snacks. She cleaned it regularly, but it never seemed to make a difference. I keep telling you to exercise, but you never do. Suzuha realized she was complaining more than usual, but she had to say it anyway. At this rate, in the future... Then she realized that Itaru wasn't even listening to her. His eyes were fixed on the computer monitor. He'd moved his mouse out of sight, but you could still hear him clicking it. Listen to me! Suzuha approached her father from behind, with the hairspray can she'd been hiding up to his neck. Itaru seemed to think it was a gun. He stuck his hands up. Threats like this worked. They worked because she told him that she survived the Third World War and the wars and chaos of 2036, and that she was ready to draw a gun and pull the trigger whenever she needed to. Suzuha, if you don't stop, Daddy's gonna get mad. Getting mad at you right now. Right, sorry. But you know about my secret job, right? I'm pretty busy with that. When you're as good a hacker as I am, there are always a ton of offers. I don't have time to eat real food, right? And there's the time difference with overseas clients, so sometimes I'm like up all night. The future used to say that all the time, and then Mom would always get mad at you. Even if for the sake of the argument we can't do anything about your sleep schedule, I can't let you keep eating all this unhealthy food. You'll stop immediately, got it? But work's hard, and so's the time machine research. I need to relax. You just use that as an excuse to slack off. You're being a spoiled brat, Dad. Suzuha was always amazed that her dad managed to survive the future wars. But since the time machine research would affect the future and eventually Suzuha's very presence here, she couldn't tell him to stop. Even after Okabe Rentaro stopped coming to the future Gadget Lab, Itaru had kept working on the time machine, all by himself. Suzuha never said a word about it. If she did, it might create a time paradox. Just remember, you can't examine the time machine that came from the future to build your own. She decided to warn him again. I know that. Sometimes I lose confidence. Can I really make a time machine? Of course you can. Hang in there. Okay. Suzuha took the hairspray can off his neck. Hey, I was sure that was a gun and it wasn't. How can you trick your own dad? I'll use a real one next time, okay? Please don't. Suzuha put the can of hairspray back on the shelf. It was something Okubi Rintaro had left when he lived in the lab. It was still here, since its owner never came back for it. You know, in manga and video games, it's always really cute when a girl scolds her dad. Suzuha, can you try to say, "Aw, geez, don't do that, Papa," in a really sweet voice if you can? Never mind. Her dad shrank from Suzuha's glare. Suzuha sighed loudly and dropped herself on the sofa. She leaned back against the headrest and stared at the ceiling, then closed her eyes. Wrong. Nothing. You can't hide it from me when you say it's nothing. That means I want you to listen to me, right? Huh? Come on, tell me. Daru sounded very serious. Suzuha's eyes went wide for a moment. Then she realized. That line. That was the grill game you were playing earlier, wasn't it? Ugh. That's the phrase that triggers the flag, right? She'd been living here for 3 months. She was starting to learn a little about Akihabara's culture, circa 2010. Dad, you better not be thinking about trying to take my route, okay? I'm not! I wouldn't do that to my own daughter. Really? I always wondered about you in the future. Huh? Even after I hit puberty, you always kept asking me to take baths with you. What? That's scary. I was in the military. You were always working on the time machine, so we couldn't always be together, but you always got huggy around me. It was honestly kind of obnoxious. Her dad looked honestly depressed, and she realized that she'd gone too far. You always said to me, you know, this is the worst world line possible, but your birth was the best thing that could have happened. I don't want to disappoint the future you, Dad, so I need to convince Uncle Onkori no matter what. Okay, I'll never be disappointed. Really? Yeah. But Uncle, he just won't listen to me. Not going back to the past like this. He won't rescue Makase Kurisun. He won't reach Steins Gate. Steins Gate. It was the name of the mysterious world line her dad had told her about in 2036, when World War III might not occur. Leading Okubi Rintaro to that world line was her mission. Right now, it wasn't going well. Suzu had come to 2010, and just like the mission had called for, she succeeded in rending Okubi Rintaro to July 28th. Then he'd failed. Wasn't going to try again. Every time they met, she tried to convince him, but who knew if her words were having any effect. In the end, this world line will converge into the Third World War. Many people will be killed. I came here to change that. Maybe fate says I can't. Suzu had something else she had to do here in Akihabara in December 2010. Besides convincing Okubi Rintaro, and it meant she was running around every day. The exhaustion was starting to take its toll on her. During the war, she'd been able to keep herself sharp at all times. This level of exhaustion wouldn't have meant anything. The relaxed atmosphere of 2010 was actually making her realize how tired she was. She was feeling very sleepy right now, actually. He was surprised at how willing she was to fall asleep in such an undefended position. She didn't think she could beat the temptation. And then suddenly she felt something extremely cold on the back of her neck. Yeah! Snapped awake in an instant. Her movements after that were lightning quick. She jumped up and slid behind the massive body in front of her, which obviously belonged to Utaru, then grabbed his arm and twisted it as she dropped him to the floor. She went to draw the gun at her hip, and her hand swept through the empty air. Then she came back to reality. Her gun was hidden. She wasn't carrying it. This wasn't 2036. Ow, ow, ouchies! Cans of Dr. P clattered to the floor. Must have been what he put on her neck. What are you doing, Dad? Getting you back. I was half asleep, so I almost killed you. What? Told you that's how I've been trained. They could have turned out really badly for you. Fine, just let me go. This really hurts. Ah, sheesh. Suzuha let her father go. Ah, poor Daru. Just fix some things really quick. Sorry about this, everyone. Okay. Itaru rubbed his arm and stood up, then grabbed the cans of Dr. P off the floor. He offered one to Suzuha. Anyway, you're giving up too soon. Keep at it a little longer. I think Okarin's just tired and sleeping. Put some cold Dr. P up to his neck like I just did, and he'll wake up. I mean, it's Okarin we're talking about. Yeah. He realized her dad was trying to cheer her up and nodded. Then she heard footsteps coming up the stairs, and some slightly off-key humming. Ah. Their eyes met. Just the sound was enough to tell them who it was. Hi, Suzuha. Okie dokie. Suzuha moved fast. Maybe even faster than when she knocked her father to the ground. She quickly and silently jumped behind the curtain that separated the lab's development room from the rest of it. Just as she hid beneath the desk, there was a knock at the door. Hello? Suzuha knew that voice, of course. It was her mom. She could tell from the noises he was making that her dad was panicking. There was another knock. Ayuri? Right, I'm coming. Tara went to open the door. Suzuha took a deep breath and concentrated her mind. She remembered the time she'd spent 3 days and 3 nights on a battlefield with no food and nothing to drink, constantly aiming a rifle at the target. She erased any trace of her presence that could give her away. Her breathing started to become shallow. Dad, don't screw this up, okay? Amaneshi, you're meeting Mayushi today? Itaru came back into the room with the girl. Yes, we were supposed to practice cooking together. She could hear plastic bags rustling. He must have brought the ingredients. Mayushi's not here yet. I see. Maybe I'm a little too early. Yuki Amane. Just as the name Amane suggested. She was Suzuha's mother in the future. In other words, the two of them in the other room were supposed to get married. Well, if you two were supposed to meet, I'm sure she'll get here eventually, right? Can I wait here? Of course. You're not going to be cooking here, right? Yes. I hope you'll do the taste testing for us, Hashida. I don't know if I want to eat Mayushi's cooking. Don't worry. Mayuri's gotten a lot better lately. Haru was clearly nervous. As far as Suzuha knew, the only girl he acted that way around was Yuki Amane. Suzuha and Mayuri were practically family. He got along fine with big sis Rumi Ferris and Yan Yan, who worked at the maid cafe next door. But it wasn't that he didn't know how to act around girls. For some reason, he always acted different when he was around. She told him that Yuki would be his wife someday. It was too late to do anything about it now, but maybe that was a mistake, she thought. Is your sister not here today? Huh? Yeah. I see. Taro Hashida's sister was none other than Suzuha herself. Around the same time Suzuha started spending all her time in the lab, Yuki had become friends with Mayuri and Itaru. He began visiting more frequently, which meant that avoiding her was almost impossible, and so she was forced to tell Yuki that she was Itaru's little sister. But still, she wanted to keep contact to a minimum in order to keep Yuki from finding out somehow. That was why she was hiding. Oh right, what do you think of this outfit? I just bought it. He showed no signs of noticing Suzuha, just rolling around in the center of the room as if she was at a fashion show. Yuki was a cosplayer, wanted as many people as possible to see her dressed up. Mayuri had told Suzuha that once before. In fact, Yuki and Mayuri spent a lot of time complimenting each other's outfits. Yep, it's great. Really great. Really? It's like, whoa, an angel for the win! Thank you. You should dress up too, Hashida. Just a tiny bit of weight, and I think you'll look wonderful. I'm serious, you know. Uh-oh. Taro Hashida, Yuki Amane. She listened to their awkward conversation. Suzuha remembered the last time she'd said goodbye to her dad. (2036) August 13th. Dad, the peacekeeping squads have reached, Matsubashi. Which means it's only a matter of time until they find this place. I guess the false information I leaked didn't do us any good. Let's hurry. Yeah, I'm opening it up. Wow, I had no idea there was a door here. Nobody will ever find this hall. Come on inside. What is this place? The room was almost totally empty, and covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Not only were there no windows, there wasn't even a door to the hallway. The building they were in was once a symbol of old Akihabara. The fort was almost entirely destroyed by an air raid during the last days of the Third World War. Only a few people knew about the secret room inside it. The biggest reason was its secret. The silhouette of what looked like a satellite sitting in the corner. Oh, this is the time machine, isn't it? The time machine? Bakari, it's dangerous, so don't get too close. Like a baby Kurisu. Suzuha spoke to the little girl, clutching Mayuri's hand. Most of the children of this era had skin inflammation somewhere on their body from all the radioactive rain, but she didn't. Her name was Kagari Shina. Her registration form said she was 10 years old, but no one knew if that was true. She was an orphan who'd lost her parents at the Tokyo air raids when she was a baby. Nobody even knew her birthday. The name Kagari had been given to her by Mayuri. was working at the child welfare center that had taken her in. She took it from the word Kakaribi, meaning bonfire, and hoped that she could be a light even in these dark days. It had been 4 years since Mayuri had adopted her, and her name on the registration form had become Kagari Shina. It's pretty, Mommy. Yeah, it is. Suzuha mentioned for the Shinas to step back, put her right hand and right eye up to the time machine sensor. The biometrics check cleared, the hatch slid open. She went inside and fastened herself into the seat. Never done a man to jump on this lane before. The technology is just fine. Just do it like the test jumps. Okie dokie. Suzuha began to flip switches, working her way through the startup procedure. She practiced it hundreds of times in preparation for this day. The faint rumble from the machine began to get louder. According to the data, the spot we're in now was the roof of the old radio building. There's a gap of about 1 meter, so when you land, there's going to be an impact. Roger. The time machine could move through time, but not space. To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she needed to launch from right here. Even if something happens, stay calm. Remember your training. Be fine. I believe in your machine, Dad. Words must have meant a lot to him because he stuck out his lips toward her. She squished them back with her hand. That's creepy. That makes me sad. Do you not like your daddy, Suzuha? You do it? It seems like you mean something else. Come on, I wouldn't think of my own daughter that way. But who was it who was saying, you're starting to remind me of your mother? Mm-hmm. Her mother wasn't here. I'm a victim of the war. Really killed by the peacekeeping squads. Don't take my joke seriously, please. What? It was a joke? Suzuha's voice sounded kind of disappointed. She set the destination for August 13th, 1975. Her first mission was there. That does it, okay? Dad? He was about to say her goodbyes, but then... Gah! Hiya! That was from the roof. They're coming in! Damn it! They're faster than I thought! Suzuha drew her gun from her holster. She was about to get out of the time machine, but her dad stopped her. No, just go! But we'll be fine, just go, Suzuha. No, I can't. Ayushi, get Kagari in there. Huh? There's room for another person in there. Mayuri and Suzuha's father picked up the stunned Kagari and stuffed her into the time machine. Suzu, take care of Kagari. Okay. If Suzuha's mission succeeded, the world line would be rebuilt, and it was likely that the present Kagari would cease to exist. It might have been pointless to send her. But even so, a mother wants her child to live. That's how Suzuha's mom was too. Mommy? Kagari finally seemed to understand what was going on. She called out to her mom. No, I don't wanna go. It's okay, Kagari. Suzu's with you, okay? No, I wanna go with you. If you go to the past, you'll see the old me. I'll be a lot younger than I am now. I bet you'll be surprised. Mayuri handed Kagari a tiny keychain. It looked old. It may have been a brightly colored green once, and now it was completely faded. This is Mommy's Upa keychain. I'm giving it to you. Take good care of it, okay? Once it was pressed firmly into Kagari's hand, she stepped back. Mayuri was smiling, but weeping at the same time. No, I don't want to go. I want to stay with you, Mommy. Mommy! Mommy! No! Kagari, be quiet. Kagari felt silent immediately. Even Suzuha had never heard Mayuri use that tone of voice. That's how harshly she scolded her daughter. Wah! Mommy, wah! Kagari was quietly weeping, unmoving. I'm closing the hatch. This time, the hatch really did begin to close. The inside of the machine and the outside of it. The two worlds were about to be completely cut off from one another. When Suzuha's mission was successful or not, she would probably never see any of them again. Suzu, make sure you take care of Kagari. And tell Okurin that Steins Gate really exists. Tell him, don't give up no matter what, you moron. Okie dokie. And then the door was sealed shut. Mayuri and Itaru's voices disappeared along with the chaos outside. Dad, I love you. Whispered towards the doors now sealed shut. Let's go, Kagari, to the past. He booted up the time machine. Hashida, where's the vacuum? Suzuha snapped back to reality. Yuki was getting closer to the development room she was hiding in. It's right behind that curtain. Oh, crap! Behind the curtain? I'll get it. Itaru motioned for her to stop and then quickly slid into the room. As he reached down to pick the vacuum off the floor, his gaze locked with Suzuha's as she hid under the desk. Make sure she doesn't find out, Dad. Okie dokie. You find the vacuum? Oh, yeah! Evidently, Yuki was trying to be nice by cleaning up. The place was pretty messy right now. Knowing Yuki's personality, Suzuha could imagine she'd want to clean it. Itaru grabbed what looked like a vacuum cleaner off the floor and left the development room. What is that thing? Future gadget number 5. If you take it apart, you can use it as a normal vacuum. A vacuum's supposed to clean. If you take it apart, won't that just make more of a mess? You're so smart, Hashida, but sometimes you can be so silly. You think so? But, you know, I like people like that. What did you say? Taru started to panic again. Suzuha sighed. But I think you really do need to reconsider the way you live. You should clean every day if you can. This place gets really dusty. And that's not all. There's also what you eat. You had instant ramen again today, didn't you? How did you know? There was a half-eaten cup of ramen in the kitchen. See. And look at all these snacks. I tell you all the time that you eat too much. I do try to watch it, you know. Trying isn't good enough. If you keep eating nothing but cup noodles and snacks, you're gonna get sick, okay? Also, you need to exercise a little. Yuki Amane was saying the exact same thing that Suzuha had just said. Perhaps they really were mother and child. Suzuha was just beginning to feel a little homesick when she sensed another visitor approaching. Doo-doo-doo! The door to the lab opened, and a greeting she had heard many times before resounded throughout the room. Sorry, Yuki, I'm a little late. It was Mayuri coming to see Yuki, but there was another presence there too. Hi there, Mayuri. I see Okabe's with you. Oh, Ocarine. It's been forever, man. Oh yeah, it has. She heard his voice. Suzuha grinded her teeth a little. Interesting. What did you say? Didn't you hear me? I said it was interesting. You're not gonna tell me what you want to go. Wait, you're not going to tell me what you want to go, are you? Wait, you're not going to tell me... Oh, you're not going to tell me you want to go, are you? Sorry. It's having a stroke. Quick drink of water. I'd love to. Shouldn't have told you. I was standing in the middle of Ikebukuro with a smartphone in one hand, staring up at the sky. I've been trying to talk to the Amadeus Kurusu as much as possible lately. Sometimes I would contact her, sometimes Kurusu would contact me. It didn't feel any different than having a friend who lived in the real world. Talking on a smartphone in a crowded place like this was a little embarrassing, but I told myself that compared to the things I used to do, it was nothing. I chosen harmless topics for our discussion. That reminded me so much of talking to the old Kurusu that I sometimes forgot myself. I'd done that just now, when I accidentally told her about the lab. She had seized on it. This lab you were talking about, did the original me ever go there? Yeah, no. Well, that tells me nothing. Which is it? Never. Kurusu had been part of the lab in the Alpha World Line. In this world line, she died before ever becoming a lab member. Of course, she'd never even known where it was. Seemed to have the wrong idea, so let me straighten you out. We call it a lab, but it's not. It's just a group of people messing around. And Suzuha was living right there. There right now. Don't ever spend a lot of time there. But they found out about Kurusu. Things could get complicated. I'd prefer it if you would finish your sentences. It's nothing. Either way, I want to see more of the outside world. All the times I've talked to Maho and the professor, it's been inside the lab. I am out here early on a Sunday morning, taking you around at Ikebukuro. 10 a.m. Even at this hour, the area in front of Ikebukuro station was crowded. Going to get even more crowded as it gets closer to noon. I was willing to take you to Maiden's Road if I had to. What's that? There's a whole world there you know nothing about. Wait, I just looked it up. Are you really interested? Well, of course not. Anyway, take me to this lab of yours today. Now that you've told me about it, you need to take responsibility, got it? She hung up. It was like I was her own personal taxi service. Kurusu couldn't move around on her own, so there was no getting around that, but... Sheesh, she's so selfish. Seemed to think very highly of me. At this rate, she might start treating me worse than a servant. Real Kurusu was one thing. No, maybe it wasn't. But being treated that way by the artificial Kurusu was incredibly humiliating. Could it be a humiliation for all of humanity? Maybe I should do something about this, as I mumbled to myself. Huh? Okari? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did it freeze? I think it froze. Whoop. Did not want to skip. That was weird. Froze for a second. Sorry about that. How about it? In the end, I went with her. You look really happy. Yep, I am happy. Mary had been smiling the whole time. I was the opposite. The minute I got here, I was so nervous I felt like I was about to throw up. I didn't really want to see Suzuha. Are you okay, Okabe? Yeah. The door to the Brawn Tube workshop on the first floor opened. Out came the building's owner, Yugo Tenoji. Mr. Tenoji, doo-da-doo! Hey there. Wow, aren't you cold in just a t-shirt? Not pretty tough. I'd been living in the lab. I'd given him the nickname Mr. Brawn. Been a long time since I'd seen him. Okabe, from the look of it, you're actually making something of yourself at college. Thanks. Come to think of it, how are we handling the rent? I asked Mayuri instead of him. I used to give it directly to Tenoji, but... Ashida deposits the money when it's due. Don't worry. Let's see. Yeah. This man... Is he a rounder in this world line too? There's no way I could ask him. Couldn't help but be wary of him. That's why I'd started to put some distance between us. If nothing else, I'd avoid trying to interact with him. Bye now. Don't cause too much trouble. Tenoji saw that I'd gone silent and went back inside. Mayuri looked all over at me with a worried expression. You okay? Sure you don't want to go home? Let's go. Tenoji didn't matter. What mattered was, why was I here? I feel like something needed to change. Did I really want to show Kurisu the lab? Went up the stairs, still unsure of the answer. Doo-da-doo! Mayuri went in first. Sorry, Yuki, I'm a little late. Hey there, Mayuri. Peeked inside the room. Daro and Yuki were there. Their eyes went wide when they saw me. I see. Okabe's with you. Oh, Okarin, it's been forever, man. Yeah, it has. We scanned the room. No sign of Suzuha. Part of me was a little relieved. Can I come in? Your own lab, dude. Don't ask that. It's true, I guess. I don't think I can call Kurisu right now. I followed Mayuri to the lab and tried to relax my legs by sitting on the couch, but I didn't feel relaxed at all. I felt like my skin was crawling. Glanced over at Yuki. That outfit's so cute, Yuki. I wore it because I wanted to hear you say that. That's so nice. Mayushi wants to wear it too. Want to switch outfits later? Would it be the right size? Heard about Yuki's future from Suzuha too. still couldn't believe someone this pretty was going to marry Daru. Even Daru seemed to share the opinion. That's how much of a miracle it was. Yuki and Suzuha really did look similar. There was no doubt that she was Suzuha's mother. But still, Daru seemed to be having trouble with her. He'd sent lots of messages complaining about how he didn't know how to deal with it. Were things perhaps starting to go wrong? The world lines converged. The two of them were going to marry no matter what. I ignored Kurisu's call. Sure, she'd complain later. There were some things I just couldn't help. Then I saw an old vacuum lying on the floor. What's this thing, I asked myself, and then I realized that it was future gadget number 5. What's it doing here? I'd put all the future gadgets in the back room. No one was planning on cleaning with this thing, were they? We'd MacDivered it into the point that it didn't work as a vacuum anymore. MacDivered. I should put it away. I took gadget number 5 to the back room. It felt even messier than it had last summer. Most of the new stuff belonged to Daru. I could see a lot of anime, computer games, pre-order bonuses, art books, and figure boxes. There's also a lot of parts and machines I didn't recognize. Daru really working on the time machine? I'll do it myself if I have to. I promised Suzuha. Once Daru and I had something like a fight over the time machine. I could still remember his exact words. Rare for Daru to be so forceful about what he was thinking. I just hear something? There it was again. Is that a rat? Hey Daru, there's a rat. Shh. Not a rat. It's a rattlesnake. What do you mean a rattlesnake? Be quiet, uncle. I knew that voice. I could sense someone there. Someone was moving around under the desk. I leaned down and fearfully took a peek. There was Suzuha. What's she doing here? Then Daru walked in. Another rat? Seriously? Uh-oh. I tried to push Daru out, but it was too late. Oh no, there's a rat? A rat? A snake? Where? Yuri and Yuki were peeking up from behind Daru's back. Suzuha? Hi. Now for our next story. Yasukazu Komazawa, a member of Diet House of Representatives, held a press conference today at 10 a.m. to announce his resignation after accepting illegal donations from corporations. Someone left the TV on and was playing the afternoon news. Suzuha knew no one was watching it, but she used the remote to turn the volume up anyway. Wanted to keep the girls in the shower room from hearing us. I could hear Mayuri and Yuki laughing from the shower. Things had gotten really awkward when Yuki had found Suzuha, but Mayuri quickly came up with a plan. First, her plan was for the 3 of them, including Suzuha, to shower naked together, and hopefully get Yuki and Suzuha more comfortable around each other. But Suzuha said the shower room was too small for 3 people and refused. Well, this is a problem. Suzuha was staring up at the ceiling. Not your fault, Suzuha. It's Okarin's. It's your fault for not telling me about her earlier. It wasn't time. You just... Forget it. Guys, it was my mistake. Nobody else's. Why do you need to hide from her anyway? You've already told her you're Daru's sister. Hiding just makes you look more suspicious. Suzuha tried to avoid Yuki to begin with. Just meeting her father was enough to potentially cause a time paradox, she said. That chance went up even more if she met her mother. But Yuki had found her before long, and Suzuha had been forced to say she was Daru's little sister. Yuki believed it, so why make things any more complicated? Sure, but Mom wants to be friends with me more than I thought she would. If I talk to her too much, I might slip up. If you see someone who's just like you, you either hate them or take an interest in them, I bet. Yuki Amine was the latter. It'd be much easier if she hated me. You just tell her, maybe not. Right now, only a few people know that Suzuha was the time traveler. Me, Daru, Mayuri, and Ferris. That was all. Oh no, did it stop again? There. Wow. Wait, do we have to explain anything at all? Huh? Aminashi. She really isn't the type to pry. You should know that, right, Suzuha? You're right. She wasn't like that in the future. Then what's the problem? When the time comes, I'll explain it to her. Really? Yeah. Fine. I'll leave it to you. Suzuha nodded. So from now on, you can stop trying to avoid Aminashi. I don't know if I can do that without screwing up. It'll be fine. I don't know if you're one to talk, though. Look at how awkward you were with her. I'm not the problem here. Then the conversation came to a halt, which meant we were starting to think about the voices coming from the shower room. So, Daru opened his mouth. Perhaps he couldn't take it anymore. Can I go watch Nico live streaming? There's a blood-tuned stream on now. You're going to do it even if I tell you no, right? Yep. Go ahead. Suzuha sighed. Daru sat in front of the PC and put his headphones on. Heh. What is it, Uncle? Just thinking about how well you got along with your dad. Really? Yeah, Daru was like this in the future, wasn't he? He was thinner and cooler. Can't even imagine. The conversation died again. There were a ton of things I needed to talk to Suzuha about. That was why I couldn't say a word. Maybe it was the same for her. There was nothing else to do. Suzuha and I turned back to the TV. The news was still on. The opening event for the French fashion board, Le Paradis, was held in Ginza this morning. The newscaster spoke. I could see over 100 women lined up in front of a store. So peaceful, isn't it? The time I was old enough to remember anything, this was all gone. On the TV, a girl in a pretty outfit was talking to an interviewer. Jealous. To kill anyone, no one's going to kill them. The world I grew up in, you had to kill without mercy, no matter if they were a man or a woman. Your life could end at any moment. The terror was with you every second of every day. The only way to forget the terror was to give yourself over to the madness and become one of the killers. That was war. That was Suzuha's life. I've been to many nightmarish world lines, but none of them were that bad. My dad's work in the time machine got him branded a rebel. Daru had made the time machine that brought Suzuha here. It was far more powerful than the one that existed in the Alpha world line. I left the military to join him in his group, and the police and peacekeeping squads came after me. The battles after that were worse, and there were a lot of them. I don't want to use the phrase fighting the good fight. I killed a lot of people and lost many of my friends and comrades. I'm gonna save here really quick, guys. Here. Continue. of them was my mother. Dara was still staring at the computer screen, but I could see him twitch. Must have been listening to Suzuha while he pretended to look at the screen. He tried to protect me from one of the army's drones and was gunned down. This was the first time I'd heard how Yuki Amane died. I was in the next room right now, having fun in the shower. Oh, she was going to die? I saw her ripped apart with my own eyes. Warm blood splattered all over me. Maybe the reason Suzuha didn't want to talk to her mother in 2010 was that she didn't want her asking about the future. There was no way Suzuha could tell her that. Listen, Uncle Okarin. At some point, Suzuha's eyes had started to overflow with tears. This world can only go to one place. Hell. It doesn't have to be right now. There's still a little time, I think. So just think about it again, please. Please. Hey. In my mind, I knew it. Hey, Cannibal Queen! Welcome to the stream. How are you tonight? Super busy. I'm just reading Steins Gate. We're finally finishing it. It's getting good. The right thing to do was to do as she asked. But I don't want to die. The sensation I felt when the knife slipped into her flesh and I took the life of the girl I loved. I'm on time. Oh yeah. Your second one here? Arc Boba Fett was here, but I think he's having some internet weather conditions, so low-key stream. Just reading. Steins Gate. Oh, yeah. They're not the most popular of my streams, but I do want to read it. It went from my hand to my arm, and then to the rest of my body. I started shaking. My vision blurred, then almost went black. My hands went to my mouth. Nah, you're super popular. Thank you, Cannibal Queen. I appreciate it. That is a gold star. There was a wave of pain, like my stomach was turning inside out. Uncle? Are you okay, Okarin? Yeah, sorry. Suzuha poured me a cup of water. I gulped it down. Sorry, it was too early to talk about this. No, it's nothing. I'm fine. Thank you. No problem, Cannibal Queen. No problem. So how have you been? Are you finally not super busy anymore? Regular busy? I've been super busy. I sank into the sofa, tried to calm down. I know what you want to say and how you feel, but I've gone through so many world lines. I've seen people in other world lines have their fates toyed with by the time machine. I looked straight into Suzuha's eyes. I've seen your own tragic end. I've realized that I'm powerless to do anything. Humanity was powerless before the laws of this world. Using the time machine to change the world lines means breaking the rules of the universe. Not the province of humanity. You'd say it's the province of God. Yes! Super busy! And you? How are you feeling? Better? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm just starting to get super busy too. Last week and this week are going to be super busy for me, and then it'll be regular busy afterwards. And then I've been fixing the stream. There's been like a lot of little things that haven't been working right, or like weird issues, so I've been like fixing them. I kind of spent today doing that. Plus, oh my god, I know, right? Plus, I've been like, I don't know why, but my sleep schedule's like all. I stayed up really late last Saturday to play a game. No more vacations. Yeah, no more vacations. My next vacation will be in the summer. Not until June or July. So, but it's okay. I can handle regular busy. It's just super busy. I'm gonna be super busy this week. So many things I gotta do. If we try, we'll suffer an even more horrible punishment. Please don't get sick. Oh, I'm like super doing, yeah. I don't want to get sick again. Or get any of my family sick. So I'm like, I mean, I always took it seriously before, but now I'm like super like, yeah. At least for a long while. Yes. That's what I think. Is that your answer, Uncle Green? For now, if nothing else. I see. Feel free to tell me I'm just running away. No, I won't do that. Suzuha looked up at the ceiling inside. Must have been a habit she'd picked up lately. Now our next top story. The Ministry of Health announced that there have been no reported cases in Japan of the newly form of encephalitis that is ravaging America. But that's unfortunate. This new virus has a long incubation period, and they cannot deny the possibility that it has already arrived in Japan. The ministry has ordered all medical organizations in the country to drop treatment plans and investigate the virus spread. We're here with Soko Haruyama of Ochonomozu Medical University. Learn to speak Japanese. Alright, moving on. So Miss Haruyama, what sort of symptoms does this new encephalitis cause? The new virus does not spread easily, but it has a long incubation period and appears without warning. The main symptoms are hallucinations and memory problems. For example, think you were at work, and suddenly you find yourself at home, or you have memories of meeting someone you've never met, or even reports of that. Also, memories can be confused. You might have memories of events that never occurred. You lose the ability to tell the difference between dreams and reality, or perhaps your sense of passage of time. In some cases, your memories will no longer match those of the people around you. You could describe it as similar to deja vu, or even the feeling you get when you're only half awake. But the symptoms are far more pronounced than that. What about treatment methods? Unlike other forms of encephalitis, we know that with proper treatment, a full recovery is possible. So even if we do see some cases in Japan, it's not a matter for serious concern. The reporter was still talking, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. The information I just heard was that shocking. A new kind of encephalitis. The symptoms she was describing. And the ability to discriminate between dreams and reality? Your sense of the passage of time? Your memories no longer match those of the people around you? That was... I'm gonna say reading Steiner? Was exactly the same as reading Steiner. (1975) August 13th. Cry, sob. The interior of the time machine smelled like metal, and was covered in instruments of different sizes, and the girl inside was sobbing. It's been almost an hour since Suzuha had left to go look around. She assumed that Kagari would have stopped crying by then. She'd had no such luck. How long are you going to keep crying? You need to get it together. Think about how big sis Mayu felt. Kagari Shina looked up at Suzuha.